Steve Kerr and the timeout controversy, the incident that left the Warriors coach fuming. On Tuesday night, the Golden State Warriors faced off against the Denver Nuggets in a hard-fought battle that ended in a 119-115 loss. What could have been just another close NBA game took a dramatic turn in the final seconds when a play involving Denver's Christian Braun sparked outrage from Warriors coach Steve Kerr. For Golden State fans, the sentiment was clear: we were robbed. In the dying moments of the game, with the Nuggets up by 4 points, Braun dove to secure a critical offensive rebound. While on the ground, he appeared to motion for a timeout, a move that could have drastically altered the game's outcome. Denver had no timeouts remaining, which should have resulted in a technical foul against the Nuggets. For the Warriors, this would have meant a free throw and possession of the ball, potentially forcing overtime. Instead, the referees chose not to call the timeout and ruled a jump ball with just 1.9 seconds left on the clock. That decision all but sealed Denver's victory. Steve Kerr loses his cool. In the post-game press conference, Steve Kerr did not hide his frustration. Braun called a timeout. Everyone saw it, except for the 3 guys we pay to officiate the game, Kerr vented. It was clear that he believed the referees had made a critical error, robbing his team of a legitimate chance to win. His fiery remarks resonated with a fanbase already exasperated by the team's underwhelming performance. The NBA's verdict. On Thursday, the NBA released its traditional last 2-minute report, L2M, which reviews officiating decisions in the final 2 minutes of close games. To the dismay and anger of Kerr and Warriors fans, the report concluded that the referees made the correct decision by not recognizing a timeout request from Braun. The play was classified as a CNC correct non-call, with the explanation that Braun never fully or clearly signaled for a timeout. While the report aimed to clarify the situation, it only fueled the debate. For many, including devoted Warriors fans, it seemed obvious that Braun was attempting to call timeout, even if not in the standard manner. The lack of a penalty for Denver only deepened the sense of injustice. Christian Braun's defense. After the game, Christian Braun downplayed the controversy, claiming he wasn't trying to call a timeout. "It might have looked like I was, but I was really just fumbling the ball on the ground," he said. Even so, Braun's explanation didn't sit well with many. In the NBA, players are often penalized for much less ambiguous gestures, and the fact that the referees ignored this one felt inconsistent. Was it a missed call? Beyond the alleged timeout request, other aspects of the play were questioned. Braun rolled on the floor while holding the ball, which is typically considered traveling. Yet in this instance, the referees opted to call nothing more than a jump ball. For the Warriors, it felt like everything that could go wrong did in those final moments. Michael Malone's jab. As if the loss and controversy weren't enough, Nuggets coach Michael Malone took the opportunity to poke fun at Steve Kerr during his own press conference. "I hope someone got a snapshot of Christian Braun diving for that loose ball at the end, before he didn't call timeout, of course," Malone quipped. The comment added fuel to the rivalry and further riled up Golden State fans. Other timeout missteps this season. The incident also brought to mind another timeout controversy earlier this season. On November 12, Miami Heat coach Erik Spoelstra called a timeout with 1 second remaining in overtime of a tied game against the Detroit Pistons, despite having none left. In that case, the referees assessed a technical foul, leading to a Pistons victory. For Warriors fans, the difference in how these situations were officiated only reinforced the perception that their team had been wronged. Impact on the Warriors' season. The loss extended Golden State's losing streak to 5 games. In a season where every win counts, this type of controversy stings even more. The team, already struggling to find consistency, now has to contend with the frustration of feeling like they lost an opportunity due to external factors. The NBA, often praised for its transparency, also faces criticism for the subjectivity of its decisions in the last 2-minute report. For Warriors fans, however, what matters most is that this was yet another night where their team walked off the court with a loss that could have been avoided. Steve Kerr may have lost his temper, but he's far from alone. In Oakland and around the world, Golden State fans are still asking, what if the refs had called that timeout? Unfortunately, in the NBA, there's no rewind button to change the past. All the Warriors can do now is channel that frustration into energy to get their season back on track. For a team with Golden State's pedigree, moments like this are just another chapter in their relentless pursuit of greatness. The bigger picture, a frustrating trend for the Warriors. This latest controversy feels like part of a growing pattern for the Warriors, who seem to have been on the wrong end of several close game calls this season. Whether it's questionable foul decisions, inconsistent traveling enforcement, or perceived favoritism towards other teams, the sense of frustration among Warriors fans is palpable. For Steve Kerr, who has built a reputation for being level-headed and strategic, this public outburst is a clear indication of just how high the stakes feel. While Kerr's criticism was specific to this game, his frustrations likely stem from a broader concern: the Warriors' inability to close out tight contests. The team, which once prided itself on composure and execution in crunch time, now finds itself struggling to recapture the dominance. A call going their way might have changed the narrative, but Kerr knows the solution lies within his roster's ability to finish strong. A question of officiating standards. The Braun timeout incident also brings up a familiar discussion in the NBA: the consistency of officiating. Critics argue that referees are often too subjective in interpreting plays, especially under pressure. In situations like this, where the visual evidence suggests a timeout was requested, why does the onus fall on players to make a perfect signal? Braun's gestures, though not textbook, seemed clear enough to warrant consideration. The league's defense of its officials through the L2M report often feels like salt in the wound for losing teams. While transparency is a step in the right direction, many fans and analysts believe these reports do little to address systemic issues. For Warriors fans, it's not just about this game, it's about whether these correct non-calls are genuinely fostering fairness or simply perpetuating frustration. The psychological toll on the Warriors. Beyond the X's and O's, moments like these can have a psychological impact on a team. Golden State has been a dynasty built on confidence, swagger, and an unshakable belief in their ability to overcome adversity. However, a losing streak combined with controversial moments like this one can start to chip away at that mental edge. Even veterans like Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, known for their leadership, have shown signs of frustration during this rough patch. Kerr's post-game comments, while justified, also reflect the growing pressure on a team expected to contend for a championship. With every loss, the scrutiny intensifies, and external controversies only add fuel to the fire. For a coach who often preaches accountability, the question becomes: how does he ensure his players remain focused on controlling what they can? Fan reactions, outrage, and disbelief. On social media, Warriors fans were quick to voice their displeasure. Hashtags like #RefsYouSuck and #JusticeForTheDubs trended briefly after the game, with clips of Braun's apparent timeout circulating widely. Fans pointed out inconsistencies in officiating across the league, with many citing past examples of similar situations where penalties were enforced. This collective outrage speaks to the passion of the Warriors fanbase. Golden State has cultivated one of the most loyal followings in basketball, and incidents like these only deepen the emotional connection. But for some, there's also a growing sense of weariness. How many more what-if moments can this team endure before frustration boils over? What could have been? Had the referees called a timeout, the game would have taken a dramatic turn. A technical free throw followed by possession would have given the Warriors a glimmer of hope to tie or even win in the final seconds. With shooters like Curry and Klay Thompson on the floor, no lead is truly safe. Instead, fans were left to wonder about a missed opportunity that will now forever be part of the what-if category. Kerr himself acknowledged the slim odds, even if the call had gone their way. "It's not a guarantee we win the game," he admitted post-game. "But we deserve the chance." For a team accustomed to seizing big moments, being denied that chance stings all the more. The road ahead for Golden State. With their losing streak now at 5 games, the Warriors face a critical juncture in their season. The team's schedule doesn't get any easier, with matchups against other top Western Conference contenders looming. If the Warriors hope to turn things around, they'll need to address not just the technical aspects of their game but also the emotional and mental challenges that come with a skid like this.